All right. Hi everyone, Sean here from Awesome Prop Trade, just going over the new scalping system that I have been evaluating over the last couple of weeks, and so I'm just doing a daily dive into each of the trades that I make with the system, and we start off with the least profitable, go to the most profitable, and sort of discuss what happened. What I'll do is actually group them by the symbol, since I make multiple trades at the moment on a per symbol basis. So trading on everything from the Euro Aussie all the way out to the sterling dollar, and pretty much everything in between. The Pro Scalper runs on a 15-minute time basis, can come down to 5 minutes. A whole bunch of indicators over here. It's a little bit complicated, but we're going to go into the methodology of the trading system, how it works, and what my intentions are moving forward. Essentially, this blue box and this blue box represents the London and New York trading sessions. These dashed lines represent the new days, and then you have average daily range low, average daily range high is just above it. So yeah, let's go through the trades and see what we've got. Okay, so the first one is we're going to have a look at the Euro Aussie that we're trading. So we've got the EMA 50 moving down, Scalper signaling sell. Essentially what I was doing here was looking for a pullback, which we actually got up here. So jumped the gun a little bit early on that one. Generally speaking, as soon as we turn red, you want to get in on the first pullback, which is just around here. Got in over here. So as you can see, that was not a profitable trade, but we got in at a couple of other times on this pair, which is this pullback through here. So you can see that trade actually worked out really well. And then we had another trade that I got out of. You can see the times that I exited, 16:52. That's just because it was getting closer and closer to when I wanted to go to bed. So, and all of the trades as an aggregate were in profit. So I'm going to get into that part of the system as well. But essentially what we do is we come down, have a look here, and see that the price comes back and hits the scalping line, which is this red line here. And if it comes back and hits this gold line, then that's also another fantastic trade entry. So jump in for the trades. We see that we get in for, this is 12 pips, that one here. This is 2.5 pips. And then this one here was a loss of about 5 pips. So as an aggregate, these were great. This trade here was not a great way to trade, really. It did not comply with what we should have been trading as per the system. So as you can see, as soon as the scalper goes blue, and then we start getting a buy signal, it's basically off to the races. At the moment, currently, we're in the Australian session, which is 2:30. London session opens at around 4. So you can see what's happened here. Come down, we're looking at a sell, gold line moving down below the AO over here, and then you get this spike up. Fantastic time to short through there. But generally speaking, we're waiting for the sort of partway through London into the pre-New York session. So I'm trading anywhere between 8 and 9 p.m. entering the trades and exiting around 11 to 12 midnight. So moving forward, we've got the Euro Canadian. Jumped in this one. At the time, the sterling was showing a lot of weakness. So again, this wasn't really a great way to trade. The gold line was quite flat, and it was very weavy. So yeah, looking back at this, I'd say, okay, it was probably worth it to jump in at this point here, and then jump out at this point here as soon as we got a buy signal. The sterling was not giving us, the euro was not giving us a fantastic amount of weakness. And so there was essentially a theme for all the trades, all the profitable ones, and they were sterling pairs. So Coming into the next sell position that we had, hopefully this was a better way to trade here. Yeah, so this one got closer in at the red line, and then we have another trade which hopefully is even closer in that red line, in that gold line. So this is the first one, second one, third one, and end up closing them all out. This one closed out for a minimal loss, and then these two we ended up closing out again. As soon as this went blue and saw that it was sort of taking off, the AO was really coming back to zero. It was time to get out of it. Essentially what happens is we have this AO below, gold line moving down, red line coming in. So yeah, it was a potentially good way to trade, potentially a great way to trade, but the flow of the market was not that fantastic. If we look at the daily charts, you can see where it's going, you know, in a fairly solid downtrend. The 4 hourly though was quite flat, which is not fantastic when you're drilling down the time frames. And then on the hourly, you know, up and down, up and down. So it's a little bit wavy. So, you know, the 15-minute was giving us a signal. We weren't really trading as per, you know, how the strategy should run. But stop loss is doing their thing and containing losses, so that's what we like to see. Euro sterling jumped in, essentially buying the euro against the sterling. So again, sterling weakness. So this was a fairly good way to trade. We had the gold line moving up here. We had a buy signal from way back here. We were above the AO. We had, you know, huge amount of buy signals through here. So as soon as we get into the pullback, you want to jump in and away you go. So those were some great trades on the euro sterling. Again, essentially it's trading sterling weakness. So you can see, jump in here, get in 2 pips, jump in here, get in 6 pips. So yeah, those were quite good trades. Be fairly happy with them. Obviously this one wasn't fantastic, and obviously could have stayed in the trades a lot longer, but again, getting out at that 16:52 mark, that's about 11:50 p.m. Brisbane time, so it was time for bed, and there's already plenty of profit there, so no harm, no foul. Euro sterling, this was from today actually. You can see through here. I pretty much decided to trade as soon as we hit the sell signal on here, and then I thought, I'll just get out of it. Not sure what I'm doing trading during Australian hours. Not really that keen for it, but as you can see, I mean, that would have been a fantastic trade as well, because this system here is fairly accurate. So I mean, that's 9 pips there on the euro sterling, which is fairly decent in terms of profitability. Moving on to the euro yen. So again, the tail was essentially euro weakness, sterling weakness last night, but the sterling was ridiculously weak. This is a fantastic way to trade. You're looking at the gold line moving down all the way through. You're looking at this red line signaling you to sell. We're very far below the AO. We're getting triple reds on these down here. So essentially you hit the red line, you hit the gold line, and you're selling on both. Sell, sell, and then you're going for it. So let's see where the other euro yen led us to. So that was right on the gold line. That's fantastic. And we don't have any other euro yens. But essentially, yeah, you can see what's happened. As soon as we get into, I think for these I got into an aggregate 16:52. Again, you can see down there on the timer, it was bedtime. So all the trades in the aggregate were in profit. So I wasn't really too phased. But yeah, definitely left some profit on the table on those ones. So some tighter money management probably needs to be employed there. Looking at essentially a money management technique where as the trade comes down, you're essentially putting stop losses at the tops of each candle. But we'll see. That's not really within the trade parameters at the moment. So Euro New Zealand dollar. This is where we start getting into the really profitable trades. So again, shorting euro, shorting sterling all through last night. Gold line moving down below the AO, getting some sell signals through here. This is the most sensitive. These ones down the bottom, medium sensitivity and fairly low sensitivity. So, you know, all these are screaming sell. So as the gold line's moving down, we're getting signals to sell. We are only selling at this point. We come up, look for the retracement, and sell on the red line, sell on the gold line. That's what we're after. So we'll see what happened here. I had a sell limit, I think, a little bit higher up. But again, this is just while we wait for it to refresh. New tick comes in. Yeah, so sell on the red line, sell on the gold line as close as you can. And away you go. So yeah, these were some positive trades. Euro New Zealand dollar worked out fantastic. Moving forward onto sterling Aussie. So sterling Aussie, again, gold line just cascading down, you know, sell line cascading down below the AO. So straight away, you know, you're looking for an entry into a short position just to scalp some money off that. As we're coming into the sell that I wanted to do, usually what happens is when you actually pull the trigger, these signals are all switched over, but that's fine because they are a lot more sensitive and on very low time frames. Whereas this here, we're looking at sell, 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 sell. You know, these are blaring along with all of these up here, and especially the AO. So get in at the red line, get in at the gold line, and then just scalp the trade. So the sterling Aussie went fairly well on both of these. Go on the red line again. I think I had a sell limit on here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had a sell limit. So I'll have a look at what that was. I think that would have been right around where the gold line is. Yeah, which is there. So yeah, I had a sell limit, but didn't end up getting that close. But that's okay, as long as you get in for some pips. Again, got out at 16.16 on these ones. Wasn't overly interested in staying in the trade, mainly because this was a little bit of a manual management, but we hit a swing low, so you can see through here, there's a fair amount of support on a double bottom. So we had the bottom through there, the bottom through here. We had a bit of bounce through this here. So, you know, this is sort of, if you're calculating all your swing highs and swing lows, you know, there's a swing high, there's a swing low, there's a swing low, and then we're coming down to another swing low. So there's no harm in taking profits, right? And if you can take profits, then it's a lot better than trying to stem losses. Sterling CAD. This is another trade where we were trading on the sterling pairs, and unfortunately, you know, when it came to the Canadian dollar was just really quite weak. So we come in, looking at this, you know, it is a little bit braided. You've got blue, red, but really it was a good way to trade. And the red line comes up here, close above. You know, this is one of those examples where should you close right on the blue line? Well, maybe. It's really difficult to try to make that call. But essentially you have to call quits at a certain point on your trades, and this was one of them. So yeah, not a fantastic trade. Should you wait to get into the gold line? Yeah, ideally. But that being said, you know, I just had some other examples of some quite decent trades where we got in at the red line and we didn't get to the gold line, and still made profit. So got out of these at 16.17. So this was these were great entries. I mean, this is essentially textbook. Gold line coming down, red line coming down, get out the red, get out the gold for shorts. Should I have waited until 16.52, which would have been right in about there? Yeah, probably. Would have stemmed the losses a little bit, but you have to stick to your trading rules, right? So essentially, it comes down as soon as it goes into a buy. It comes down and hits this line. That you're off to the races. But it's really hard to make that trade that for the buy. It's really hard to make a buy case there. The reason for that is because this gold line is so flat, you know. So, and there's all this braiding, blue, red, you know, and you go back to blue again. You're not really trading market flow at that point. So, another thing to look at is the time frames. So, we're pretty flat across the daily. 4 hourly is horrendously flat. Hourly is, you know, slowly trending up, and then we're trading on the 15-minute, of course. So, you know, sometimes you got to drill down on your higher time frames and have a look at what's going on, and they sort of tell a bit more of the story. Nothing wrong with making trades across, say, 3 to 5 currency pairs for the evening, as opposed to trying to hit, you know, 8 to 10. That being said, I do like to hit 8 to 10, just because as an aggregate, it means that you're hedging a lot more of your bets. So what was this one? 16.45. Yeah, I got out of these at 16.52 again. So this is like the bedtime close. Ideally not perfect, but that's all right. We've got the gold line moving down. We've got the red line. Obviously, you know, the first pullback is the nicest. But sometimes you can't get in at that time. This here would have been about 4 p.m. or so, Brisbane time. So, but get in at the red line again. Can you get in at the gold line? Maybe. Let's have a look. No, that was the only trade we made for sterling yen. Made $95, so can't go really wrong there. And yeah, see, we had a sell limit close to the gold line as well, but never really got there. Alrighty, sterling New Zealand. Again, sort of continuing on with the sterling plays. Again, I had a little bit of braiding, so it really is hard to make the case against the, I think it was the sterling Canadian. Yeah, really hard to make the case against sterling Canadian there. Maybe there was some news I missed or something for the Canadian, but not quite sure. This one, you drill down, you know, we're down and up, so that's a bit dodgy. The 4 hour, when I took the trades, yeah, the 4 hour was down recently, but it was in an upper time frame, moving up, and same thing with the hourly. So, you know, these are just scalps. You're not really going to run a huge market journey, so you just try to get in and get out as soon as you can. So is that sterling New Zealand? I had another sell limit in for sterling New Zealand actually. That was over in, yeah, close to the gold line again. So get in the red line, get in the gold line, ideally if you can. But if you can't, that's all right. So the one trade that we made on sterling New Zealand, that made $220. So yeah, that's pretty good. Now the sterling dollar, again, going with the sterling theme. Gold line trending down, red line, try to hit the red line, try to hit the gold line if you can, and then you get out for some easy scalp. So that one didn't work out, but we had a couple of other trades, and so as an aggregate position, sterling dollar was great. So this one got closer into the gold line, so that was a far better entry. And this one was, again, a fantastic entry. So again, this was exiting at 16.52. I don't know, hold on for another 15 minutes. They would have been in a lot more profit, so better trades, but that's all right. For a total profit for the evening of $670 on a $100,000 account. So I started a week ago, so made about $4,000 last week, so 4%, and just sort of getting the bearings of the system and trading according to the market flow. So yeah, we'll see how we go for tomorrow, but until then, we'll see you then.